So we're back with another video about creating HTML files to make web pages, and I've added a little bit more to the web page that we started with. And in the browser window I can see the results of what I have so far. It's got all the text there that's in the body element, but there's no layout, there's no formatting, things aren't divided into different sections. It's all just kind of smushed into one long paragraph. The reason for that is I haven't given the browser the instructions, the tags, the codes that tell it what each of these different things are. So I'm going to start by taking a look at this, and what I thought is I'd have Hello World at the top. I thought I'd make that a nice heading at the top of this. So I'm going to give it a heading tag, and the heading tags all start with H, and there's 6 different kinds of heading tags. There's H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. H1 is the largest, so I'm going to put that, make this an H1 element. And then I've got the closing tag at the end. So this says, hey browser, this is the start of a large heading. And this one says, okay browser, we're now done with the large heading. And this part right here, this is my first web page. Now that I can code HTML, when do I get rich? Actually, before I do that, let's go and take a look at how this has changed the display of the web page. I'll save my HTML file and I'll reload. And now I've got this nice heading right here. If I want to change it to a smaller heading, maybe I'll change that to an H3. Save my work and reload, and yeah, I can see that that's a smaller heading. I'm going to go kind of in between. I'll make this an H2 heading. Make the changes, save them, and reload. Okay, that's looking pretty good. This part here, this is my first web page. Now that I can code HTML, when do I get rich? That I want to be a paragraph on its own. Right, so this part right here will be a paragraph on its own under the first line. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to indicate that I want this to be a paragraph. And nicely enough, the tag for paragraph is just the letter P, and this is the end of my paragraph. So I now want to have a tag that says, we can just barely see it because it's starting to go past the edge, but /P, that tag means that this is the end of the paragraph, and there's the paragraph element right there. Contains all of that text. Let's reload and see how that looks. Did I do that? Why is it not change anything? Oh, because I haven't said what anything else is going to be. So it just puts everything else in after that. Well, this one right here, once I am rich, I will. I'm going to make that into a smaller heading, maybe an H3. And I will save it. And I will reload. There we go. So there's the paragraph. There's once I am rich, I will. And now I want this part to be a list like I've got here, but it's not in a list. It's just all a bunch of words all put together. So I need to do 2 things. I need to tell the web browser that what's following is a list. And I can do 2 kinds of lists. I'll do basic bullet list now. That's a list that has a dot at the start of every one of those items. So I'm going to say that this is a UL, an unordered list, which is how you get a bullet list. And then right there is the end of the list. So I'm going to save that and reload. And it's kind of indented it a bit, but it hasn't separated these into the individual lines, and that's because I now have to tell the browser that each one of these lines is an item in the list, a list item, and the tag for that is li. Hey browser, this is the start of a list item, and then at the end /li to get the browser to realize that that's the end of a list item. Okay, let's use some magic to put all of those tags in all at once. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was the magic. Do you see how all the tags are in there now? Well, okay, it's not really magic, it's editing, but it looks like magic. And now that I've got all that done and saved, I'm going to reload the web page. And now it looks a little bit more like what I was expecting it to look like. I'm going to do a couple of other things here. I want to really make this fast stand out. So there's a couple of tags that I can use to make text stand out: strong and emphasis. And so let me put the strong tag there. So just take a look here. There's strong, and fast is the part that I'm making strong, /strong. So this is the strong element right there. Well, let's save that and reload, and you can see how that changes it, right? Kind of made it a little bit bolder. There's another tag that we can use to make text stand out, and that's the emphasis tag. Don't have to type out the whole word emphasis, it's just EM. And again, I'll save that and reload, and you can see that that italicizes it. The way that strong and emphasis work is a little bit different in different browsers. And when you get to a higher level of web page design, you can change the way that the text is displayed. But in either case, it's just a way of making the text stand out a little bit from the other text that's around it. Now I want to go back to the list here because I've decided that I want to put these in the right order, because this is the order I would do these things in. So I want it numbered to show that this is the first thing I do, this is the second, etc. Well, that's easy enough to change. Instead of making it an unordered list for the bullet points, I make it an ordered list. I'll save that and reload. Okay, I didn't do any editing or video editing there. That is just how it showed up, that it changes to a number. Not only that, but if I add something in here, let's add another. So after travel to the space station, let's say I want to swim with dolphins. And that's the end of that list item. I'm going to save it. Okay, so I've got these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is hire other people to make more web pages for me. When I reload, swim with dolphins is in the list. It was renumbered, so now hire other people to make more web pages for me is in at number 6. So when you put new elements, when you put new line items into an ordered list, it will renumber it for you so that everything is in the correct order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So a reminder here, what have we done for the different tags that we've learned this time? First of all, I showed you how to use a heading tag. H1 is being the biggest, H6 is the smallest, and assorted in between. And the heading tag makes something stand out, like the heading in an essay or a book or a magazine. We use the paragraph tag to assign this as being its own paragraph. H3, there's another heading tag. We looked at lists and how to make a list on a web page. There's two kinds. There's the unordered list, the UL, which is a bullet list. And then there's the ordered list, and the tag is OL, to create a list that is numbered. And every item in a list, whether it's an unordered list or an ordered list, the tag to start it is LI, and then /LI indicates the end of that list item. And finally, we showed strong and emphasis tags as a way to make some text stand out from the rest. And that's enough for this video. You should now be able to go out and format the text on your web page a little bit. So grab your browser and your text editor and start playing around with that.